Did you know that nearly 60% of people on Tirzepatide experience a complete weight loss stall by week 4? Not a slowdown, a full stop. The scale does not move, and for most of them, the first instinct is to panic, to quit, or to assume the medication has simply stopped working. But here is what we need you to understand before you do any of that. Your body has not betrayed you. Your metabolism is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Welcome to the Weight Loss Continuum, the channel where we give you honest, science-based answers to the questions you are too afraid to ask. Today, we are going to break down the science of why this stall happens, what is really going on inside your body at week 4, and most importantly, exactly what you should do next. Stay with us, because this video could be the reason you do not give up on your journey. If you are new here, welcome to the Weight Loss Continuum. This channel was built for one reason and one reason only, because too many people are walking through one of the most important health transformations of their lives completely alone, without clear answers, without honest guidance, and without anyone telling them the full truth about what their body is going through. We are not here to sell you anything. We are not here to give you a highlight reel of perfect results. We are here to sit with you in the hard moments, like this one, and give you the science, the strategy, and the encouragement you need to keep going. So if you have been staring at a scale that refuses to move, if you have been wondering whether Tirzepatide has stopped working for you, if you have been close to giving up, you are in exactly the right place. Let us get into it. Let us start at the very beginning with what Tirzepatide actually does in your body, because understanding the mechanism is what makes the stall make sense. Tirzepatide is a dual GIP and GLP-1 receptor agonist. That is a technical phrase that means it activates two separate hormonal pathways at the same time. The GLP-1 pathway slows down digestion, reduces your appetite, and helps regulate blood sugar. The GIP pathway enhances insulin sensitivity and works alongside GLP-1 to amplify the metabolic effects of the medication. When you take your first injection, both of these pathways activate simultaneously, and the effect on your appetite is dramatic. For most people, the food noise, that constant mental chatter about what to eat next, when to eat, how much to eat, gets significantly quieter within the first week. Your stomach empties more slowly, so you feel full faster, and you stay full longer. And because you are eating substantially less without feeling deprived, the weight comes off quickly. Most people lose between 4 and 10 pounds in their first 3 weeks. Some people lose more. That early phase feels almost miraculous, and it creates a very natural expectation that the weight is going to keep coming off at that rate indefinitely. And then week 4 arrives, and everything changes. Here is what is actually happening inside your body during that week 4 stall, and we want you to really hear this because it changes everything about how you respond to it. Your body is not broken. Your medication has not stopped working. What is happening is something called metabolic adaptation, and it is one of the most well-researched and well-documented responses in all of human biology. When your body detects a sustained and significant reduction in caloric intake, which is exactly what Tirzepatide creates, it interprets that reduction as a threat to survival. Remember, your body does not know you are trying to lose weight on purpose. It does not know you have a goal, a plan, a support group, and a channel you watch for encouragement. All it knows is that the energy coming in has dropped dramatically, and its job is to keep you alive. So it does what it was designed to do over millions of years of evolution. It adapts. Your resting metabolic rate begins to decrease. This means your body starts burning fewer calories just to maintain basic functions like breathing, circulation, and keeping your organs running. Your body becomes extraordinarily efficient at extracting energy from the food you do eat. Your hunger hormone ghrelin begins to push back, rising higher than normal in an attempt to override the appetite suppression of the medication and get you to eat more. And your body begins to hold onto stored fat more tightly, releasing it more slowly, because it has entered a conservation mode designed to protect you from what it perceives as famine. This is not failure. This is biology. And the stall is not the end of your progress. It is a recalibration. Now let us talk about why week 4 is specifically the most common point where this happens, because it is not random. There are 3 distinct biological events that converge at approximately the 4-week mark and create the perfect conditions for a plateau. The first is receptor stabilization. When you take your first few doses of Tirzepatide, your GLP-1 and GIP receptors are responding to the medication with full intensity because they have never experienced this stimulus before. The appetite suppression feels extreme and the results are dramatic. But by week 3 to 4, your receptors have adjusted to the consistent presence of the medication. They have recalibrated their sensitivity, and the effect, while still very much active, is no longer the same shock to your system that it was in week 1. The second biological event is glycogen depletion. In your first 2 to 3 weeks on tirzepatide, a significant portion of your weight loss comes not just from fat, but from glycogen, the carbohydrate energy stored in your liver and your muscles. Each gram of glycogen is stored alongside approximately 3 grams of water. So as your glycogen stores are drawn down by reduced caloric intake, you lose a substantial amount of water weight very quickly. By week 4, those stores have been largely depleted and that rapid water weight loss has run its course. The scale slows not because fat loss has stopped, but because that initial glycogen and water flush is complete. The third event is the leptin drop. Leptin is a hormone produced by your fat cells that signals to your brain how much energy you have in reserve. When you have abundant fat stores, leptin levels are high and your brain feels safe. It allows your metabolism to run at full speed and does not send urgent hunger signals. But as you lose body fat, your fat cells produce less leptin levels fall, and your brain interprets this as a warning sign. It responds by slowing your metabolism further and increasing your appetite drive. At week 4, these 3 mechanisms, receptor stabilization, glycogen depletion completion, and falling leptin, all arrive at the same time. The result is a plateau that feels sudden and crushing, but is actually a completely predictable and well-understood biological event. Now we need to talk about what not to do when you hit this stall, because the most common responses to a plateau actually make it significantly worse and can extend it by weeks or even months. The first and most dangerous mistake is slashing your calories. We understand the impulse completely. The scale has stopped moving, so the logical instinct is to eat less. But if you are already eating at a reduced caloric intake, which most people on tirzepatide are because the medication suppresses appetite so effectively, cutting your calories further sends an even stronger starvation signal to your already adapting metabolism. Your resting metabolic rate drops even lower. Your body begins to break down muscle tissue for fuel alongside fat, which further reduces your metabolic rate because muscle is metabolically expensive tissue. You end up in a downward spiral where less food produces less loss, not more. The goal during a stall is never to eat less. The goal is to eat better. The second mistake is skipping injections or reducing your dose without guidance. This is extremely common in the Facebook groups and weight loss communities. Someone stalls, assumes the medication has stopped working, delays their next shot by a week, or drops back to a lower dose thinking they need to reset. What actually happens when you skip or delay is that the hormonal environment tirzepatide creates, the delicate balance of suppressed appetite, improved insulin sensitivity, and reduced food noise, begins to unravel. Ghrelin surges. Hunger returns sharply. The body sees the reduced medication level as an opportunity to rebuild fat stores and may increase fat storage rates temporarily. You do not need less medication during a stall. You need consistency. The third mistake is continuing with the exact same habits that got you to this point and hoping for a different result. Tirzepatide is a powerful tool, but it is not magic. It creates the conditions for weight loss, reduced hunger, improved metabolic function, better blood sugar regulation. But your lifestyle habits determine how effectively you take advantage of those conditions. If your nutrition, movement, sleep, and hydration have not changed since week 1, your body has fully adapted to that routine. A stall is your body asking you for something new, and we are going to tell you exactly what that looks like. Here is the protocol, the specific, practical, actionable steps you can take right now to break through your stall and get your weight loss moving again. Step 1 is protein. And we cannot emphasize this enough. During metabolic adaptation, your body is looking for any available energy source it can access, and without sufficient dietary protein, it will turn to your muscle tissue. Losing muscle is the worst possible outcome during a weight loss stall because muscle is your metabolic engine. The more of it you have, the more calories your body burns at rest. The research is clear on this. Aim for a minimum of 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass every single day. For most people on tirzepatide, this means making protein the non-negotiable foundation of every meal. Eggs, chicken breast, turkey, fish, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, lean beef, protein shakes. Build your plate around protein first and let everything else fill in around it. High protein intake also increases something called the thermic effect of food, which means your body burns more calories processing and digesting protein than it does processing carbohydrates or fat. Simply increasing your protein can give your metabolism a measurable and clinically meaningful boost. Step 2 is resistance training. We know that not everyone loves lifting weights, and we are not asking you to become a bodybuilder. But the evidence is overwhelming. Resistance training is the most effective intervention for preserving and rebuilding muscle mass during a caloric deficit. 2 to 3 sessions per week of moderate resistance work, whether that is weightlifting, bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, or even heavy gardening and manual labor, can meaningfully increase your resting metabolic rate and break a stall that cardio alone will not touch. If you are completely new to resistance training, start with 3 sets of bodyweight squats, push-ups, and rows 3 times per week. That is enough to create the stimulus your body needs. Step 3 is sleep and stress management, and we are listing this as a clinical recommendation, not a lifestyle suggestion. When you are sleep-deprived or chronically stressed, your body produces elevated levels of cortisol. Cortisol directly promotes abdominal fat storage, causes insulin resistance, suppresses leptin production, and spikes ghrelin. In practical terms, this means that chronic poor sleep or high stress can completely override the benefits of tirzepatide and make a stall indefinitely long. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night is not a luxury on this journey. It is medicine. Whatever stress management practice works for you, prayer, meditation, walking in nature, journaling, therapy, breathing exercises, make it a daily non-negotiable. Step 4 is injection consistency. Your next shot is not optional, and it is not something to delay or adjust without speaking to your provider. Hormonal consistency is the foundation that makes everything else possible. Tirzepatide works through sustained receptor activation, and any break in that consistency creates a window for your hunger hormones to reassert themselves and for fat storage signals to increase. Take your shot on schedule, every time, without exception. Step 5 is hydration. This sounds so simple that most people dismiss it, but dehydration is one of the most common and most underappreciated causes of a false plateau. When your body is mildly dehydrated, it retains water in your tissues to protect itself, and that water retention can completely mask real fat loss on the scale. You can be actively losing fat every single day and see zero movement on the scale simply because you are not drinking enough. Aim for a minimum of 80 to 100 ounces of water per day, spread throughout the day, and more if you are active or live in a warm climate. Let us bring this to life with 2 real scenarios from people who have walked exactly this path. The first is a woman we will call Sarah. Sarah switched to tirzepatide after 18 months on Wegovy, during which she had lost 22 pounds and then plateaued completely. When she started tirzepatide, she felt immediately different. The appetite suppression was stronger, the food noise was quieter, and she dropped 4 pounds in her first 2 weeks. She was excited and hopeful. Then week 4 arrived and the scale stopped. And then the hunger started to creep back, not to pre-medication levels, but noticeably more than the first 2 weeks. She was frustrated and scared. She came to us, and when we looked at her habits, we found that in her excitement about the early results, she had actually been eating less than 850 calories a day. She was drinking almost no water, and she had stopped her walks because her energy was low. Her body had gone into deep conservation mode. We built her a new nutrition plan anchored in protein, pushed her water intake up significantly, added a 20-minute walk each morning, and focused on getting her to bed by 10 p.m. Within 21 days, the scale was moving again. She went on to lose another 14 pounds over the following 6 weeks. The second scenario is a man we will call Marcus. Marcus started tirzepatide and lost 9 pounds in his first 3 weeks. Week 4 hit and nothing moved for a full month. He was so convinced the medication had stopped working that he was researching switching to a different GLP-1 entirely. When we talked with him, it became clear that Marcus had not changed one single habit since starting tirzepatide. He was eating the same fast food, sleeping 5 hours a night, drinking mostly soda and coffee, and sitting at a desk for 10 hours a day. The medication had given him a gift, dramatically reduced hunger, but he had not changed what he was filling that reduced hunger with. We redesigned his eating plan around whole foods and protein, got him walking 15 minutes after dinner each night, replaced his afternoon coffee with water, and worked on a sleep schedule. Within 2 weeks, the stool broke. Over the next 5 months, Marcus lost an additional 34 pounds. These are not miracle stories. These are what happens when you stop fighting your body and start working with it. We want to close with something that we believe with everything we have here at the Weight Loss Continuum. A stool is not a stop. It is a pause. It is your body doing its best to protect you with tools built over millions of years of evolution. Tools that were never designed for the world we live in now, where food is abundant and intentional weight loss is the goal. The stool is not your enemy. It is information. It is your body telling you that it has adapted, that it needs something new, and that the next phase of your journey requires a slightly different approach than the first. The people who succeed long-term with Tirzepatide are not the people who never stall. They are the people who stall and do not quit. They are the people who use the stall to learn more about their bodies, to build better habits, and to come out the other side stronger and more informed than before. That is what the Weight Loss Continuum is here to help you do. Every single video, every single week. Your journey is valid, your struggle is real, and the fact that you just sat through this entire video looking for answers instead of giving up tells us everything about who you are and what you are capable of. You are going to get through this stool, and when you do, you are going to understand your body in a way that makes the rest of this journey feel completely different. Now drop a comment below right now and tell us, what week are you on and how many pounds have you lost so far? We read every single comment, we celebrate every single number. And if you are not subscribed to the Weight Loss Continuum yet, hit that button right now, because we are releasing new videos every week built around the exact questions people like you are asking. We will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves.